In the world we live in today, the richest 1% of the population controls 48% of the total wealth, and the top 80 richest individuals are worth as much as half the world's population, or roughly 3.5 billion people. When considering these figures, there is no doubting the fact that there is a separation between the rich and the poor. While many people assume these wealthy individuals gained their wealth by being born into wealth or winning the lottery, that simply isn't true. In fact, only 11 out of the 80 richest individuals pass down their fortunes, with the other 69 having made their wealth through their own hard work and determination. Out of 69 people, Warren Buffett, the big investor, is one. He grew up like most rich folks, in a regular family. But he figured out how to learn lots and do things that made him super wealthy, with over $70 billion. We often see some people with lots of stuff and others with almost nothing. But have you ever wondered what really makes rich people different from poor people? Sure, it's easy to say rich folks have a ton more money. But I'm talking about more than just dollars and cents. Think about it. A rich person and a poor person might live in the same town, have the same job options, and the same 24 hours in a day. Yet one struggles to make ends meet, while the other has more money than they could spend in a lifetime. So, what's the real difference between someone who becomes super rich and someone who always has money problems? Let me explain using our rich pal John and our struggling friend Tim. I'll tell you exactly what sets them apart. If you pick up these habits of rich people, you might find financial success in your own life. John and Tim, despite having similar IQs and coming from middle-class families in the same city, find themselves at opposite ends of the financial spectrum. On a typical Monday afternoon, they both return home from work, but their choices and priorities diverge. Tim opts for immediate gratification. He collapses onto his couch, turns on Netflix, and dives into a marathon of mindless TV shows. It's his way of numbing the stress and fatigue from a long workday. Despite his boss suggesting that he should read more books to enhance his chances of promotion, Tim can't muster the motivation, especially with a new season of his favorite show to indulge in. Contrastingly, John takes a proactive approach as soon as he enters his home. He quickly logs onto his computer and dedicates his time to studying. John, already equipped with a master's degree and multiple designations, invests additional hours each night to prepare for an upcoming exam. His commitment goes beyond the immediate requirements. He continues to pursue another accreditation, recognizing it as a strategic step to climb the corporate ladder swiftly. John, inspired by successful figures like Dan Lok, who invests substantial amounts in continuous learning, acknowledges a crucial difference between the rich and the poor. The rich never cease to learn. The next day at work, something interesting happens to Tim and John. Tim's boss starts giving out extra money to everyone. Tim opens his envelope and sees $100 inside. It's way less than what everyone else got. Upset, Tim talks to his boss. He tells his boss he's been working there for 10 years and feels embarrassed getting such a small bonus. But his boss tells Tim he never stays late to help others, and his work isn't as good as before. On the other side of town, John is working hard on his project. His boss walks up to him and hands him an envelope. John opens it and sees a $10,000 check inside. He's shocked and really thankful. His boss explains that John has been working a lot lately, putting in tons of hours. Also, his last project saved the company $1 million. That's why they wanted to thank him for this big bonus. So, the second difference here is that rich people sell their value, while poor people sell their time. Tim eagerly waits for Thursday every week, because that's when he receives his paycheck. As soon as his boss hands him the money every 2 weeks, he rushes straight to the bank. He feels a mix of relief and worry as he starts paying off all the people he owes money to. First, he sends money to his landlord to cover the rent. Then, he pays the hydro company so he can keep the lights on at home. Finally, he sets aside a chunk for his income tax, which he pays monthly. As Tim approaches the end of the month, he wants to see how much money he's managed to save. When he checks his account balance, his heart sinks. There's no extra money saved up. In fact, his account has even less than it did the previous month. He's confused and frustrated, wondering where all his hard-earned money could have disappeared to. On the other hand, John has a different approach when he gets paid. Immediately after receiving his paycheck, $500 is automatically put into a special savings account that he can't easily access. Once he ensures his savings are secure, John starts paying off his essential bills. He makes his mortgage payment to keep a roof over his head, pays the utility company to keep his home running smoothly, and sets aside money for his monthly income taxes. Tim works hard and looks forward to unwinding after a long day at work. One evening, as he relaxes in front of the TV, an advertisement catches his attention. It's for a brand new high-definition television that costs $1,000, exactly the amount Tim has set aside for his entertainment expenses for the entire year. Caught in a dilemma, Tim realizes that he has another desire to compete for his budget, the latest PlayStation, priced at $500. Sadly, he understands he can't afford both and wishes his boss had been more generous with his bonus. Tim finds himself in a bit of a pickle, torn between his love for cutting-edge technology and the limitations of his budget. On the other side of town, there's John, who has just successfully passed a challenging exam. Wanting to reward himself for his hard work, John also has a budget of $1,000 to spend on a new gaming system and TV. Unlike Tim, John has a different approach. Instead of settling for one or the other, he asks himself how he can have both. With a growth mindset, John decides to take on a side consulting project to earn the extra $500 he needs for the PlayStation. This way, he can create the ultimate gaming setup to celebrate his achievement. Here lies a key difference between the rich and the poor. The rich tend to have a growth mindset, always looking for opportunities to expand their resources and achieve their goals. Meanwhile, Tim's daily routine includes grabbing a frappuccino from Starbucks before heading to his less-than-exciting job. The sugary latte has become a necessity for him, providing the energy boost he believes he needs to endure the workday. Although it costs him $5 each day, Tim gladly makes the trade, valuing his morning caffeine fix as a small pleasure amidst the monotony of his job. John takes a different route from Starbucks each day. Instead of splurging on an expensive latte, he opts for the free coffee available at work. While it may not be as fancy as Starbucks, John believes saving $5 every day on coffee is a smart move. Over a year, he manages to accumulate $1,500, which he plans to use for an all-inclusive trip to Mexico with his friends. What sets John apart is his ability to delay gratification, a lesson he learned from Temple University study. The study found that delaying instant pleasure was more critical than factors like age, race, ethnicity, and height in determining affluence. John understands that envisioning larger future rewards helps resist the allure of short-term pleasures. Saying no to a daily latte becomes easy when he imagines the fun he'll have on the beach in Mexico. This ability to delay gratification is one key difference. The rich comprehend its power, while the poor often seek immediate pleasure. In challenging economic times, companies resort to laying off employees to cut costs. Tim, scrolling through Facebook at his desk, receives a note from his boss asking him to turn in his laptop and badge. He's being let go. Panic sets in as Tim wonders how he'll pay rent and bills without a steady income. Having believed in job security as an employee, getting fired leaves Tim questioning the validity of this impression he held for so many years. John faced a tough situation when his boss told him he was being let go from his job. During their talk, the boss praised John's work, but explained that he had to let everyone else go first before choosing John. Even though John was polite and thanked his boss, he knew that jobs aren't always secure. That's why, since he started working, he also started his own online business and invested in stocks that pay dividends. These have become strong enough to support him until he finds another job. This shows a key difference between the rich and the poor. The rich have different ways to earn money, while the poor often rely on just one. After a week, Tim, who was also let go from his job, was feeling down at home with his friends, who were also struggling. They complained about how bad the economy was and how unfair life seemed. They believed they'd be wealthy if they had the same opportunities as others, but John reacted differently. He invited his close friends for dinner and shared the news about losing his job. However, he told them confidently that his other income sources would keep him going. One friend even suggested John join his construction company in a top position. Another friend wanted to start a consulting company with John because they had worked together well before. This highlights another difference between the rich and the poor. The rich tend to surround themselves with other successful people, while the poor often stay close to others who are struggling financially. The main things that make rich people different from poor people are how they keep learning, focus on selling value, save money for themselves first. Think about growing instead of staying the same. Wait for good things, have many ways to earn money, and spend time with other rich people. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.